Will those that are able please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Durham Police Department Honor Guard and for the singing of the national anthem, which will be performed by Miss Gwen Bryant.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Thank you. You may be seated. Well, welcome and good evening. My name is Mary Ann Bond, and I wanted to welcome you to the Durham Police Department Annual Service Award Ceremony. Our Annual Service Award Ceremony falls on the heels of the May 15th Peace Officer Memorial Day and National Police Week, where we honor law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty. Tonight, we're here to recognize 25 award recipients, which include community members, non-sworn police employees, and Durham officers for their dedication and devotion to our community. These individuals are true servants, and their actions illustrate the community police partnership that makes Durham such a great place to live, work, and play. Those we are honoring tonight were nominated by peers, supervisors, or members of the community. This is a very special night, and I want to thank all of you for being here. Before I acknowledge our visiting guests, I would like to recognize some of the City of Durham family. Councilman Eddie Davis, Deputy City Manager Bo Ferguson, and our City Attorney Patrick Baker. Thank you all for being here. I would like to acknowledge some other visiting special guests and ask that they please stand. Any non-City of Durham officials, city and county department heads, and other law enforcement officers. On behalf of Chief Davis and the Executive Command staff, thank you all for being here. One final item to mention before we continue with the program is tonight's ceremony is going to be broadcast live on the Durham Television Network. The program will also be rebroadcast at various times over the next several months and be available online. At this time, I invite Reverend Bruce Puckett, who is the Director of Worship and Community Ministry of Duke University Chapel, to the podium for the invocation.
Let us pray together. Lord of all the earth, you are the mighty maker and protector and refuge for all people. We honor you and give you thanks for those called to serve, and who do so with courage and honor and bravery. You've given us the model of love and care that sacrifices everything, even one's life, for the sake of a friend, a neighbor, even an enemy. We thank you for the women and men in this room who've committed themselves to caring for the Durham community and who daily model self-sacrifice in their work and service. Bless each person in this room tonight. Give each one courage to persist in doing what is good and right. And renew our spirits that we might not grow weary in working for justice and peace within our city. And through our efforts and your grace, make Durham a place of delight and well-being for all people. In your name we pray. Amen.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. I am personally gratified by your attendance to this special occasion tonight. Certainly, it is always uplifting to celebrate the above and beyond contributions of Durham Police Department employees and community members who have helped to advance our agency's mission and its vision. Reflecting on my inaugural year as police chief, I've had the pleasure of meeting many employees, individuals, citizens, and groups who have offered assistance or shared ideas for fulfilling our agency's mission and vision. So tonight, I want to acknowledge the extraordinary actions of 4 in particular who are well deserving of special acknowledgement. Each has made exceptional contributions that support DPD's vision to be a progressive law enforcement agency committed to fostering public confidence and maintaining the highest standards of excellence as a community partner for positive change. As Deputy Chief Marsh and Assistant Chief Allen stand, I would like to invite representatives from Fidelity Investments Corporate Security, Jim Connor. Give him a round of applause as he comes. Fidelity Investments is distinguished by unprecedented hospitality and sponsorships that have supported team building, professional development, and service excellence among employees of the Durham Police Department. Fidelity has welcomed DPD to its breathtaking campus on multiple occasions, giving access to state-of-the-art equipped facilities and providing affordable access to professional services. Most recently, Fidelity Investments hosted DPD's inaugural Eagle Awards that commemorate women's excellence, achievement, and gallantry in law enforcement, accommodating more than 200 guests for a luncheon program. In addition, for the past several years, Fidelity Investments has been a major corporate sponsor of the Durham Chamber of Commerce's annual First Responders Appreciation Breakfast that honors the men and women who serve and protect our community. I want to thank Jim for your partnership, your friendship, and congratulations. Give him a round of applause. Now, I invite the founders of Love Over Hate, North Carolina. Unfortunately, DJ Craze is unable to be here, but his partner, John Rooks Jr., please come and join us. Love over hate, thank you. Love Over Hate North Carolina is a volunteer-run advocacy group that strives to end violence. The group defines violence through a wide lens, focusing on the root causes of advocate violence, crime, and confrontation, as well as the acts of violence themselves. They challenge our conscience as a society to examine all the circumstances, systems, and obstacles in place that hinder residents from enjoying and enriching quality of life, and to be aware of influences that weaken respectful relationships among residents and law enforcement. Throughout the past year, Love Over Hate has worked continually to build bridges of understanding and foster renewed trust among the Durham community and law enforcement. Love Over Hate has organized and hosted monthly gatherings called Community Cops Coffee and Conversation in all 5 of Durham's police districts at coffee shops, community centers, fraternity houses, and et cetera, et cetera. These open forums have been well attended and facilitated frank discussions that I believe have helped to ease tensions between residents and officers alike. In addition, Love Over Hate members were determined to have an engaging presence in the city's revived holiday parade and sought out a sponsor, which resulted in adults and youth alike promoting the Love Over Hate message from atop a professional float. So it is with great pride that I present the Chief's Award for Distinguished Community Service to Love Over Hate North Carolina. Give them a round of applause. Would John Bedard and Jerry Grubb, representatives from Carolina Arbors, please join us at the podium? Give them a round of applause. There are literally more than 10,000 reasons why the Carolina Arbors community is cited as exceptional. For the past 2 years, the community's Neighborhood Watch Network has adopted DPD's Blue Benevolence program as its focus for National Night Out. For those who are not aware, Blue Benevolence is a specialized revenue fund whereby the public can make financial contributions to specific DPD programs that promote community outreach and strengthen relationships among our officers and our residents. It was created in 2015 to strategically manage the outpouring show of support of the police department by Durham residents and civic groups. Blue Benevolence engages residents in a more meaningful way by enabling charitable support for DPD services that promote mental health, victim services, youth enrichment, canine care, the motor unit, and honor guard. Over the past 2 years, the residents of Carolina Arbors have contributed more than $10,000 toward DPD's Blue Benevolence cause. Yeah, I know you're just dying to clap. Carolina Arbors residents are also commended for their outstanding commitment to neighborhood watch and the ideals of community policing, with 62 organized active blocks and 67 captains. So it is with great pride that I present the Chief's Award for Distinguished Community Service to the residents of Carolina Arbors. Thank you so much. And the last award is, okay, they were just checking to make sure the recipient was here. I was thinking, you better be here. So, the last award is a special award as it relates to community service. I would like for District 4 Commander Captain Daniel Edwards and Lieutenant Denise Campbell to please come forward. Over the last several months, Captain Edwards has been assigned to the District 4 community. Captain Edwards, Lieutenant Campbell, and the men and women of District 4 have enthusiastically engaged the communities they serve in a variety of ways to help foster, improve relationships while keeping their community safe. Captain Edwards and his team have spearheaded the Lunch in the MAC initiative, food and clothing drives for persons facing personal challenges, and open forums to discuss strategies for collectively promoting safe and sustainable neighborhoods. These efforts reflect the true essence of building partnerships and the department's unwavering philosophy of community policing at every level. Please give them a round of applause. At this time, we will move forward with our program with Assistant Chief Burwell. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce to you some of the department's Community Service Medal recipients. The Community Service Medal honors Durham Police Department police officers, non-sworn Durham Police Department employees, and members of the general public for service to the community above and beyond the call of duty that promotes public safety. I will be introducing you to recipients of the Community Service Medal that are not employees of the Durham Police Department. The first non-DPD employee Community Service Medal recipient is Mr. Tim Will. On July 24, 2016, officers responded to a serious two-vehicle accident with one person trapped on North Duke Street at Murray Avenue. The scene was chaotic, with several people in need of serious medical attention. There were a few younger females crying and screaming because they were in pain. Firefighters were attempting to extricate one person from a vehicle, and other public safety personnel were doing everything possible to assist people on the scene. During this time, Tim Will, who works as a registered nurse at Duke University Hospital Emergency Room, stopped to assist. He helped an injured woman who was propped up against a tree. He communicated essential information to EMS and relayed what items were needed to stabilize the female so she didn't suffer further injury to her neck. Mr. Will also worked very hard to keep the injured woman calm in this stressful situation. Mr. Will was off duty when he took the time to stop and help an injured person in need of assistance. His help was much appreciated by the public safety personnel on the scene. Tim Will is a passionate and caring person whose actions have truly made a positive difference in our community. The next community medal recipient is Nisha Watson. Ms. Watson was unable to be here tonight, so Renee Watson Buchanan will accept the award for her. Nisha Watson has been a physical education teacher at Eastway Elementary School for 18 years and has been a strong supporter and partner of the Durham Police Department Police Athletic League, which we refer to as PALS, since its inception in 2010. She has an extraordinary relationship with her students that not only focuses on physical education, but she also regularly engages them in literature, mathematics, geography, science, civics, art, and foreign languages. In addition, she has secured grants to provide funding for new shoes for her Girls on the Run team and for practice equipment and shorts for her Eastway PAL basketball team. Coach Watson has been a great asset to the Durham Police Department PAL program. She has put together basketball and soccer teams to represent Eastway every year to date. Every year, she has coached and mentored at least 35 elementary students in the PAL program. She has also started a PAL cheerleading team and attends many PAL functions with her team members. Coach Watson tirelessly gives of her personal time to enhance the lives of her students. She has been vital in providing the students and families at her school with an opportunity to build positive relationships with police officers. Her actions have truly made a positive difference in our community, particularly in the lives of her students. The final non-DPD Employee Community Service Medal recipient is Takia Smith. Takia Smith has been a physical education teacher at Y.E. Smith Elementary Museum School for almost 10 years. She has been a strong supporter and partner of the Durham Police Department Police Athletic League program since its inception in 2010. Coach Smith relates to her students in a unique and extraordinary way. She has the ability to look at each student and describe their individual qualities and characteristics as if she has known them for many years. She goes above and beyond just teaching her students the basics of physical education. She teaches them lessons that will give them a fair chance to excel in life. Coach Smith hosts weekly after-school clubs for interested students and writes about a variety of topics in her column, Healthful Living with Coach Smith, in the school newsletter. Coach Smith has been a great asset to the Durham Police Department's PAL program. She has put together basketball and soccer teams to represent Y.E. Smith every year to date since the PAL program's inception. She tirelessly gives her personal time to the PAL program by organizing teams, holding practice sessions, and coaching multiple teams. She hosts seasonal award ceremonies to reward students for having a successful athletic season, and she participates in many other PAL activities. She has been vital in providing the students and families at her school with an opportunity to build positive relationships with police officers. Her actions have truly made a positive difference in our community, particularly in the lives of her students. Chief Allen will do the service medals for DPD employees.
Good evening. I will be presenting to the honorees of DPD employees the Community Service Medal. Our first recipient for tonight is Officer Douglas Beckett. Officer Douglas Beckett of the Crisis Intervention Team is known for his special and compassionate way of interacting with people throughout the community. He is known as an officer who is able to connect with anyone at any time under many difficult circumstances. Officer Beckett frequently works with members of the Durham's homeless population. He is known to spend his own money to purchase socks, shoes, toiletries, traffic vests, and other items to distribute to those in need. He also participated in the planning of the Bull City Fresh Starts event, focusing on the homeless and help locate those who would benefit from the program. He and his partner, Officer Kendrick Hunter, truly care about the homeless and are passionate about providing them with assistance. He often speaks with young people and takes their concerns seriously. He tries to mediate between them and their parents and guardians and encourages them not to give up hope. We have received multiple emails from people grateful for Officer Beckett's assistance. He stayed well past his shift time at an off-duty job at Durham Station to ensure the safety of your mother and her daughter. He buys food for people who can't afford it. He is the first officer to volunteer to help others at any time, and he does it quietly with no desire for accolades. Officer Beckett truly has a commitment to community service, and he demonstrates that every day. He is an asset to the Durham Police Department and the Durham community. Our next honoree is Officer Kendrick Hunter. Officer Kendrick Hunter is an exceptional CIT officer whose work has made a positive difference for many people in the Durham community. He has done outstanding work with the homeless, the mentally ill, veterans, and other members of the community served by the Crisis Intervention Team. During the past 2 years, Officer Hunter has talked at least two people out of committing suicide. He responded to a call in which a young, distraught, pregnant female had slit her wrist and was locked inside a bathroom. He was finally able to persuade her to come out of the bathroom and to go to the hospital for help. In late 2016, Officer Hunter was off duty when he received a call from a member of a local church who was concerned about a young suicidal veteran. Officer Hunter spoke to the man and was able to convince the man to go to the hospital for counseling. Officer Hunter, a U.S. Army veteran, is also known for his exceptional work with veterans. Officer Hunter is now the DPD's Veteran Affairs Specialist, and one of his main goals is to help veterans in crisis to navigate the VA system. Officer Hunter and his partner, Officer Douglas Beckett, work closely with Durham's homeless population. They both regularly reach out to the homeless population and provide them with bottles of cold water, traffic vests, socks, and other needed items. Officer Hunter is a regular visitor to the Threshold Clubhouse, which serves adults in Durham with severe and persistent mental illness. In May of 2016, he brought lunch for all of the residents. Officer Hunter is an outstanding example of community policing in action. He truly cares about people and his community. Our next recipient is Lieutenant Denise Campbell. Lieutenant Denise Campbell has taken on numerous projects outside of her daily duties to enhance community relationships in Durham. She was the driving force behind the Durham Police Department's MAD-themed patrol cars, which were featured in the Governor's Highway Safety 2017 calendar. She has also made a proposal for service and sacrifice-themed vehicles for the Durham Police Department's liaison officers. Lieutenant Campbell has promoted health awareness amongst the department's officers. As part of the 2016 Officer Health Awareness Challenge, Lieutenant Campbell was responsible for the pink breast cancer pins to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the blue Movember Challenge pins to bring awareness to prostate cancer. After watching a story on CNN about the Empowerment Project, which is a company that employs homeless women to manufacture parkers that double as sleeping bags for the homeless, Lieutenant Campbell thought this would be a great way to assist some of Durham's homeless residents and was able to meet with the right people to make this a reality. Lieutenant Campbell was able to broker a deal with a local tailor to stitch ID numbers on the coats so the owners would be able to differentiate them. She was able to use this project as a way to strengthen the partnership between the Durham Police Department and the City of Durham in their homeless outreach efforts. Lieutenant Campbell is a great teacher and likes to think outside of the box. She sets the bar high for the officers she supervises and is open to understanding the various perspectives from officers and community members. She truly has been a community leader. Our next honoree is Sergeant Vincent Pearsall. Sergeant Vincent Pearsall is an exemplary employee who continues to put the needs of the community and the department first. Sergeant Pearsall was eligible to retire in January of 2016, but he continues to work for the department because he truly loves his profession. He is a mentor, a leader, and a friend to many people within the Durham Police Department and our community. He is actively involved in his church and continues to provide assistance whenever he is called upon. His community activities are too numerous to list. He helps feed the homeless, mentors youth throughout the community, and speaks to groups about serious issues such as gang awareness, bullying, conflict resolution, senior citizen safety, and encounters with the police. He attends many community events and participates in clothing and toy drives during the holidays to help those less fortunate. Sergeant Pearsall's entire career with the Durham Police Department can be characterized as exceptional. His presence in the community is known far beyond his physical stature. He has been a positive father figure to countless youth and even adults whose circumstances necessitated police involvement. On many occasions, desperate mothers have called Sergeant Pearsall to enlist his calming presence and straight-talk demeanor to converse with defiant sons about poor choices and delinquent behavior. He insists that youth demonstrate respect for their parents and authority figures. Sergeant Pearsall is a true example of dedication, service, commitment, and leadership. He is an excellent public servant and community leader. Our next recipient is Officer Robert Preston. Officer Robert Preston joined the Durham Police Department in 2014, and in that short amount of time, he has stood out by demonstrating an investment of personal time in the community that goes above and beyond what is expected of him. Officer Preston was nominated for District 2 Employee of the Month 4 times in the past year in recognition for his extraordinary commitment to the community and his passion for his job. In December, he and another officer responded to a cardiac arrest call and found a woman who had stopped breathing and had no pulse. He and the other officer performed CPR and rescue breathing until EMS arrived and the woman recovered. While on patrol, he often stops to play basketball with children in the community, and he has been a mentor to several children. He genuinely cares about them and has been a positive role model in their lives. He and other officers on his squad attended a birthday party for a 6-year-old who loves the police and made the child's day extra special. He is diligent in handling his calls and often goes the extra mile. These are just a few examples of those calls. Officer Preston responded to a call about an unknown male who was exposing himself to children at a church playground and solved the case after a 2-day investigation. He responded to a disturbance call and learned that a dog had been assaulted. He chased and apprehended the suspect and also rescued the badly injured dog. The dog is recovering. He found an elderly, disoriented female and learned that she was living in dangerous, unsanitary conditions. He followed up to make sure the case was being investigated. Officer Preston has also been commended by the District Attorney's Office for his handling of investigations. He truly is an asset to the Durham Police Department and our community. Our last Community Service Employee Award is Kimberly Walker. Senior Public Affairs Specialist Kimberly Walker has played a key role in Durham Police Department's partnership with the community. She has given her time freely to ensure the success of many programs and events. For a decade, Kimberly spearheaded the annual National Night Out observance. She has been the ultimate planner and has gone the extra mile to make the program a success. Her knack for special event coordination helped to increase the National Night Out participation by more than 300% since 2005. Under Kim's leadership, Durham was ranked in the top 20 for similar-sized cities by the National Association of Town Watch for the past 10 years for its overall National Night Out campaign. Kimberly has also spent countless hours planning, organizing, publicizing, and executing the annual Citizens Police Academy. This 6-week showcase program educates the public about police work and helps enhance the partnership between the police and the community. In addition, Kimberly recognizes a need for the department to better manage its event calendar in response to a high level of community interest in partnering with the Durham Police Department. She developed a process to make these partnership inquiries more efficient for the Durham Police Department personnel and community event planners. Kimberly is the epitome of commitment and dedication to community service. She is a valuable asset to the Durham Police Department and the Durham community.
Good evening. My name is Ed Sarvis, and I will be recognizing the certificates of merit. But before I do, there's a couple people that have walked in since we first recognized some of our special guests, and we'd like to recognize them as well. Mayor Bill Bell, I believe he came in. He's in the back. Thank you for attending tonight. And our Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Cora Cole McFadden, also has shown up. Thank you for celebrating with us tonight. Certificates of merit. They're presented for outstanding performance or devotion to duty, possibly involving personal safety. Our first recipients, Sergeant Thaddeus Ockman, Corporal Richard Clayton, and Corporal Danny Reeves. Corporal Reeves is unable to attend tonight. On March 24th, 2016, officers were dispatched to a suicide attempt call at a parking garage on East Chapel Hill Street. They located a distraught man standing on a concrete post on the top level of the parking deck. The wind was blowing hard, and the man was in danger of falling. The man was clearly in crisis and in immediate need of assistance. Corporal Richard Clayton, Corporal Danny Reeves, and Sergeant Tad Ockman stayed with the man and tried to get him to come down off of the ledge. Corporal Reeves started talking to the man and developed a rapport with him. The man was very emotional and ranged from seemingly ready to come down to getting close to jumping off the deck. Corporal Reeves continued to speak with the man and kept the man engaged. Sergeant Ockman and the man recognized each other and started to talk. The man still refused to come down, and several times it appeared he was preparing to jump. Corporal Clayton was handed a wallet with a photo of the man's daughter in it. Corporal Clayton spoke to the man about how important he was to his daughter and how she would miss him if he were gone. Corporal Clayton was also able to use the fact that both of them had served in the military to develop some common ground. The three officers continued to speak with the man for several more minutes and finally were able to convince him to come down. If not for the teamwork and compassion shown by Corporal Clayton, Corporal Reeves, and Sergeant Ockman, this man likely would have jumped to his death. Their actions that night truly made a difference. Officer Jason Holmes and Officer Kimberly De La Cruz. Officer Holmes is unable to attend tonight. On April 10th, 2016, Officer Jason Holmes and Officer Kimberly De La Cruz were dispatched to a heroin overdose call. Officers Holmes and De La Cruz were the first emergency responders on the scene, and they found an unresponsive man. While attempting to check the man's pulse, Officer Holmes noticed that the man's face was starting to turn blue and his pulse was very faint. Officer Holmes and De La Cruz quickly began CPR. Officer De La Cruz asked the man's girlfriend to assist with rescue breathing. The officers continued performing CPR until EMS arrived. Once EMS arrived, the man's face had regained its color and his pulse was stronger. The man was awake and responsive by the time he was transported to the hospital. Officer Holmes and Officer De La Cruz were able to use their training and knowledge to save a man's life under very stressful conditions. Officer Holmes and De La Cruz made a positive impact in our community. Officer Francisco De Vera, Officer Michael Donovan, and Officer Kurt Rocco. Officer Donovan is unable to attend tonight. On June 19, 2016, Officer Francisco De Vera was working a supplemental patrol shift around 2:15 in the morning when he was flagged down for help with a medical situation. He saw a woman having a seizure in her driveway and alerted the Durham Emergency Communications Center. A short time later, Officer De Vera notified Durham 911 that the patient had become unconscious and unresponsive, and he immediately started performing CPR. Durham County EMS arrived on the scene and advised the patient had no signs of life. Officer De Vera continued doing chest compressions as EMTs worked on the patient. Officers Michael Donovan and Kurt Rocco provided a chain of relief and took over doing chest compressions. After approximately 20 minutes of CPR, the patient began displaying signs of life and was transported to the hospital for advanced medical care. Officers De Vera, Donovan, and Rocco responded to a stressful situation where a person's life was in jeopardy. They used their training and administered aid with the goal to preserve life. Their efforts were successful and saved a woman's life. Officer Brett Taylor. On December 7, 2016, Officers Brett Taylor and Robert Preston, who you've already met, were on a call near Northgate Mall when they heard a call come out about a cardiac arrest inside a business at the mall. Officers Preston and Taylor quickly arrived on scene and found an unresponsive female lying on a bathroom floor. She was unconscious and her lips were blue. She was not breathing, did not have a pulse. Officer Preston immediately began performing CPR on the woman, while Officer Taylor provided rescue breathing. The officers continued performing CPR until EMS employees took over the treatment. The victim regained consciousness and was able to speak to the officers before being transported to the hospital. Officers Taylor and Preston responded to a stressful situation where a person's life was in jeopardy. They remember their training and administered aid with the goal to preserve life. Their efforts were successful and saved a woman's life.
Good evening. My name is Todd Rose, and it's my honor tonight to present awards in 4 different categories. And we're going to start with the Distinguished Service Medal. The Distinguished Service Medal is presented by the department to sworn or non-sworn employees who apprehend or cause to be apprehended a dangerous person at grave and or imminent danger to the employee. Tonight we'd like to recognize Corporal John Lloyd, Officer Stephanie Wheeler, and Officer Keith Jones. Unfortunately, Officer Jones cannot be with us tonight. On May 18th, 2016, officers with the Selective Enforcement Team, that's our tactical team, were contacted by Crime Stoppers to help locate an individual who was wanted for a recent shooting. The suspect was identified as a validated gang member with prior related violent gun crimes. These officers, Officer Wheeler, Officer Lloyd, and Officer Jones, were also told that the suspect had threatened to shoot it out with the police if confronted. This threat did not deter the officers from setting up a surveillance in an area that the suspect was known to frequent. Shortly after beginning their surveillance, the suspect was located at a convenience store. When confronted by the officers, the suspect began to run, and the officers witnessed him throw a handgun to the ground as he fled. Corporal Lloyd, quick thinking, stopped and retrieved the weapon to prevent any bystanders from picking it up, while Officer Jones and Wheeler continued to chase the suspect. The suspect jumped into the back seat of an occupied vehicle in an attempt to carjack it. But Officer Jones and Wheeler were so close to him that he abandoned the carjacking attempt and continued to run. The suspect unsuccessfully tried to jump a fence and was taken into custody by the officers. The suspect has since pled guilty to federal weapons charges and is serving a lengthy federal prison sentence. Corporal Lloyd, Officer Wheeler, and Officer Jones demonstrated bravery and risked their personal safety by participating in a mission that they knew could place them in grave personal danger. They were successful in removing a gun from the street and arresting a violent felon, resulting in a safer community. Congratulations, guys. The next award is our Civilian of the Year, which goes to Jennifer Henchy. Jennifer, who is our Victim Witness Coordinator for District 3 and 5, is primarily responsible for reaching out to victims of Part 1 crimes in her assigned areas. She helps coordinate the provision of personalized services to children, which is far beyond her normal duties. Jennifer provides an additional attention to detail, a willingness to help, and a positive attitude, and is a self-starter. She is a linchpin in the Community Services Bureau. Jennifer is actively involved in the community and represents the department at a wide variety of meetings, to include the North Carolina Victim Service Board, and she serves as chair of the Interagency Council with the North Carolina Victim Assistance Network. She has proven herself to be an essential ambassador for the department and her volunteer efforts in the community. She serves as a PAL soccer coach and a basketball concession volunteer. She participated in the Bull City Fresh Start Point in Time Count and the Darkness to Light Stewards of Children training. She regularly reaches out to investigators to offer her assistance and is regarded as a valuable asset. Jennifer recently planned events for National Crime Victim Rights Week and went beyond the bare essentials. She created flyers, designed t-shirts, planned 2 catered meals, and obtained various quotes for the week's events. Jennifer is an exceptional employee and a true asset to both the Durham Police Department and the City of Durham. Congratulations, Jeff. The next award goes to our Officer of the Year, Jason Childress. Investigator Jason Childress was a prime example of teamwork, dedication, and leadership in 2016. On top of his assigned cases, Investigator Childress worked 33 self-initiated drug cases, closing 29 of them by arrest. He executed 29 search warrants and filed over 130 felony charges on arrestees. He seized 5 guns, approximately $5,000 in cash, 152 various pills, 159 grams of cocaine, and approximately 21,000 grams of marijuana. In addition to working these cases, Investigator Childress has assisted the intelligence unit with tracking several gang members involved in serious gun-related crimes. On many occasions, he assisted the district, robbery, and homicide investigators to identify suspects and persons of interest involved in their cases. Investigator Childress also was able to identify 2 new gangs operating within the city of Durham and has made multiple field contacts documenting their activity. Investigator Childress demonstrates teamwork and leadership every day when he's at work. He is always quick to jump in and help other investigators with their cases, whether it's by researching suspects, processing evidence, or interviewing suspects. During 2016, his unit was tasked with several operations targeting violent offenders that pulled investigators away from their normal duties. He never complained and was always willing to make a contribution, which demonstrates how he leads by example. Investigator Childress has proven himself on numerous occasions to be a valuable employee of the Vice and Narcotics Unit, as well as an invaluable member of the Durham Police Department. It's personal to me because he used to work for him. The last group of awards is the Medal of Valor. The Medal of Valor is the highest recognition given by the department. It is granted to members who distinguish themselves by gallantry and bravery in an attempt to preserve life or property at clear risk of personal safety. The act must be so conspicuous that it clearly distinguishes the member as one who acted far beyond the call of duty. Our first Medal of Valor tonight goes to Officer Joel Turner. On April the 11th, 2016, Officer Joel Turner responded to an assist citizen call on the Durham Freeway at Fulton Street. Multiple people had called 911 around 10:45 p.m. to report a person sitting on the Fuller Street Bridge, which overlooks the Durham Freeway. When Officer Turner arrived, he found a distraught 19-year-old man sitting on the bridge railing with his feet dangling over the edge. The young man was mere inches from falling to the highway below. Officer Turner attempted to talk the teen out of jumping, but the teen would not respond to any of his commands. Officer Turner continued to try to communicate with the teen, and as he was talking, Officer Turner slowly inched closer and closer to the young man. After several intense moments, Officer Turner saw the teen start to lean forward in an attempt to jump off the bridge. Officer Turner lunged at the teen, grabbed him, and pulled him to the backward over the railing to the safety of the roadway. The teen was taken to the hospital for treatment. Officer Turner's compassion, quick actions, and calmness under extreme pressure were paramount in saving this young man's life and getting him the help he needed. He displayed gallantry and bravery at a clear risk to his own personal safety. His actions distinguish him as an officer who acted far above and beyond the call of duty. Our second Medal of Valor goes to Investigator Thomas Thrall. On May 31st, 2016, investigator Thomas Thrall was driving north on South Austin Avenue when he drove up on a vehicle that had just run off the roadway and flipped over on its roof near the intersection of Dowd Street. The engine compartment was smoking heavily, and the driver was still wearing his seatbelt and trapped inside the vehicle. Investigator Thrall broke out a passenger side window and pried open the door. Without hesitation, Investigator Thrall climbed in the upside-down vehicle and was able to free the driver from his seatbelt and pull him out of the vehicle to a safe location. Once after Thrall and the driver were clear of the vehicle, the engine compartment burst into flames. The fire department responded to extinguish the vehicle fire. Without Investigator Thrall's quick thinking and courageous actions, the driver most certainly would have suffered serious injury or possibly death from the vehicle fire. Investigator Thrall displayed gallantry and bravery at a clear risk to his own personal safety. His actions distinguish him as an officer who acted far and beyond the call of duty.
Well, I don't know about you all, but after hearing all those stories, I got to give them one more round of applause. I'm Deputy Chief Anthony Marsh. Good evening. I've been granted the honor and privilege of closing out tonight's auspicious ceremony. A respected author once said that a good speaker is one who rises to the occasion and promptly sits down. And I can assure you that I have both of those traits down pat, so I will not keep you very long. But I would beg your indulgence while I thank some very important people and then leave you with some final thoughts for this evening. We want to extend thanks to all the program participants and the attendees, including family members and friends of awardees, public safety partners, and community leaders. Your support is sincerely and greatly appreciated. I have to recognize the awards committee, and I have several names I'm going to read, so if you would all just kind of hold your applause till I get through all of them, and then we'll do them all at one time. Our awards committee consisted of Assistant Chief Todd Rose, Captain Mary Ann Bond, Lieutenant Jermaine Jackson, Miss Cammie Michael in public information, Miss Kimberly Walker, one of our awardees, she's our senior public affairs specialist, Miss Ira Wilkins, our administrative analyst. From our support services division, the Durham Police Department Honor Guard, our Citizens Observer Patrol, who are working so finely for us at the door, the City of Durham Public Affairs Office, Miss Sheila Bullock from the City Clerk's Office and the City of Durham General Services, and last but certainly not least, the people who are handling all of our technical facilities for tonight, our partners at the Durham Television Network. Let's give them a round of thanks. So to our guests and family members and the viewing audience on Durham Television Network, we certainly appreciate your continued support. And we would encourage you to share with others the many great things that are happening here in our city and within our department. Now, as for tonight's occasion and the award recipients, I would like to share with you all that it is really often kind of difficult to select the recipients of these awards. We solicit nominations, we receive several worthy submissions, then we have to deliberate and choose a finalist. It's difficult because we have so many talented and committed people working within our department, as well as active and committed citizen partners. I said it at a function this past Sunday, and I'm gonna share it with you tonight. That's a good problem to have, everyone. That is a very good problem for us to have. Our city, our department, and the residents of Durham are so very fortunate to have so many talented and committed people ready and willing to serve. Tonight's recipients, I submit to you, should serve as symbols of inspiration and encouragement for all of us. For their efforts and actions were not born out of a desire for recognition, but rather a desire to make a positive contribution. All of our recipients, as well as those others who were nominated and could just as easily have been here tonight, all of them make us proud to live, work, and play here in the city of Durham. It's the people, like those we've recognized here tonight and countless others, just like them within our community, which truly makes Durham the city where great things happen. We want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Thanks again to our award recipients for sharing yourselves with all of us through your service. Reverend Puckett will now come to the podium to give us the benediction, after which the Service Award Committee invites those in attendance to join the award recipients for a reception out in the lobby. Thank you all for your attendance.
Let us pray. Lord God, you've promised that you would never leave us nor forsake us. And even when we walk in dark valleys or the most dangerous places, you are right there with us. We pray that each of us leave this place and continue in service to you and to the people of this city, that you would guard us and protect us. Guide us so that we might not walk in fear, but rather in love and care for the common good. And may your peace and justice give us purpose in all we do, today and every day. Amen.